What can you do to minimize the effect of impulses and emotions on your financial plan? Joining us today is Portfolio Manager Franco Papalia to offer some easy-to-implement tips to ensure you don't get caught in the decision-making trap. Franco, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sybil. Appreciate it.
So what is emotional decision-making, and why is that a bad thing?
When you're in an emotionally heightened state, you don't want to be making serious decisions. You know, one example a mistake that people make all the time is related to the stock market. When the stock market is running hard and the news cycle is pumping, you know, people...
And things are good.
Yeah, you want to buy more. You want to get in there and you want to just buy more because your friends and everyone's making money.
And it feels good.
It makes you feel good. And that's an excellent point. So things that make you feel good, you want to do more of. But then the opposite happens when the markets are down and it's a natural cycle of stock markets. You know, the negative emotions take over and people make really bad decisions.
They're scared, they're worried, they panic. And when markets are down, human nature, the emotional side wants to sell. So the emotional side wants to sell when things are low and buy when they're high. But what should they be doing?
Well, it's like going to the supermarket, and if you see, you know, a can of soup on sale regularly $2 and it's $1, you should be buying double the amount. And so that is what people should be doing, is when the markets are down, is buying more or holding.
But their emotions will cause them to do the opposite if they listen to their emotions.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what type of situations do people find themselves in that triggers those strongest emotions?
I'll give you an example of a bad decision made during high emotions. It's a husband and wife, it's a family, and the husband passed away suddenly, unexpectedly, left behind his wife, 5 adult children, lots of grandchildren, beautiful family. And so usually what happens in a case like that when a spouse dies is that it creates this vacuum where a bunch of decisions need to be made. You know, for example, funeral arrangements, and then followed by financial decisions. And in this case, what happened was the children convinced mom to sell the family home and downsize. It turned out that it was not a good decision. She regretted the decision down the road, and it could have been avoided really easily and pushed out many years by simply hiring someone that could do the chores that husband was doing around the house.
So yeah, and if she could just step back and not make that type of decision for 6 or 12 months, she may have come to a different decision. So
right.
You don't have to feel the pressure of making a decision right away when dealing with death or divorce or illness or all of these terrible things that really take a toll on us.
Yeah.
So what other tips do you have for our viewers to avoid getting into that decision-making trap?
Be aware and be prepared. Always have a plan, some sort of financial plan that you can, and in writing is the best way, and something you can refer back to when circumstances change in your life. You can actually update it, adjust it, and so that when and if something does happen, like a divorce or a death, you know, you're much better off having a plan and much more likely to survive it financially in a much healthier way.
It'll help you steer through and navigate some of those troubling times.
Right. Yeah.
And I think you've got a personal story to share about your mom and something that she went through that highlights that.
Yeah, thanks, Sybil. My parents were Italian immigrants. They immigrated from Italy shortly after World War II. They came to Canada and bought a home, and they raised a family. They had 5 boys. My father was a laborer, you know, shortly after starting out their family, one of my brothers was diagnosed with leukemia, and he died at the age of 9. And then about 7 years later, my father was killed in a workplace accident. He was 45 years old, and then about a year later, my oldest brother was killed in an automotive accident. So,
oh, your poor mom, your poor family, all of you.
Yeah, my mother went through all kinds of stress, emotional stress, the family included. And so help showed up. The first help that showed up was family. And so one of my aunts and my grandmother moved into the house to help out. And when you look at the financial side of it, there's a couple things that stand out to me, that lessons learned. And so one of them was there was no financial plan in place, and there was no life insurance in place. And thankfully, we were able to survive financially by chipping in as all the members of the family chipping in and contributing to putting food on the table. But because there was no life insurance in place, it put major financial stress on the family in the short run. So that's one lesson learned.
And you don't want to see anyone go through that again.
No.
So have a plan, be self-aware when you're feeling emotional, so you don't make decisions on the spot, and push those decisions off to when you're of sound mind.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Franco, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Sybil. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.